That's it. I'm done defending j.c.staff. I'm done defending the director. This is uncalled for. They put shorts on my girl. They changed my girl's pants to shorts. I'm just joking, by the way. I'm just joking. They changed this way back at like episode 3, I think it was. They decided to censor her in like episode 3 in the OP. We knew this was coming. This is definitely a decision made from the top. This is too risky having her in these little short shorts, all that kind of stuff. But apparently in the manga, it changes all the time too. So anyways, whatever. It sucks. I don't like it, but it is what it is. But yes, another week. And more One Punch Man stuff. I don't want to say drama, but yes, more One Punch Man stuff. Every single week it's going to happen. Obviously, people are just watching this stuff like a hawk. Every single time somebody makes a little chirp, everybody's going to hear it. And this week, yes, we have Takashi Hashimoto, like a veteran in the anime industry, a longtime animator, has worked on things like Evangelion, Your Name, Naruto, One Piece. This guy is sort of a legend by a lot of people. But yes, he decided to make a comment on the whole One Punch Man situation, and it's making the rounds. Now, first things first, before we even get into this, I want to make it perfectly clear, if you're looking for somebody to hate one side or the other, it's not what this is here for. My perspective has always been the idea of, yes, I think this whole situation sucks. I wish it was better. I never expected to be One Punch Man Season 1. I think that anybody thought that they were going to get that. I'm sorry you were misled. But what I get from this whole situation is really kind of like, as the fire is burning, which is unfortunate, you know, people just constantly at each other's throat about the situation, a lot of passion that's there. From that whole situation, there's cool stuff that comes out of it, sort of informing the people. Every single time something happens, I don't necessarily want to get involved in the drama. I just want to kind of examine it, get information out there to people, inform them about how the industry itself works, and sort of my perspective, rather than fuel the fire, inform the lighter. That's kind of my perspective. And yes, that's a similar situation with this whole thing. We have essentially a veteran animator out there that is sort of seeing a problem, a hurt that's happening, and it's kind of caused him to finally open his mouth. And I kind of wish that he didn't, because every single time somebody opens their mouth about this whole situation, they just get roasted. But yes, over here on Blue Sky. Thankfully on Blue Sky, because probably if he was on X, he'd be getting burnt bad, because I'm already seeing it on X left and right. People going, oh my gosh, he's gaslighting us. I'm sorry, if these comments gaslight you, or it makes you feel gaslight, then you have a problem there. Anyways, let's actually get into the post, and I'll give my perspective about what he's saying here. This seems to be obviously fueled by the fact this guy is seeing a lot of his comrades, a lot of his coworkers, a lot of people that he's worked alongside are getting a lot of heat for the whole situation here. And it seems like it's led to him to finally say something. It does seem to be that he is working on some work with One Punch Man. Just to be perfectly clear, this is a guy that's been in the industry for a long time. He doesn't really have like an alliance with a studio or anything. He doesn't work for j.c.staff. He doesn't work for Bandai Namco. This is a contractor. This is a guy that gets contacted, or he contacts them about doing some work. They say, hey, do this cut right here. He'll do the cut, send it off, and move on to the next project. This isn't a guy that's tied down. He doesn't represent j.c.staff. He's not a director or anything like that. He just makes cuts. Anyways, what he actually says. One Punch Man. Well, it's not just everyone in general, but the criticism coming from foreign viewers who are illegally watching it is really intense. Now, when I first read that first line, I think that's what most people are sticking on. Like, no, nobody cares about anything else he says. It's just the fact that he claims that people are pirating overseas. Which, again, to my point that I made last time with the whole boycott Bandai Namco thing, it seems to be a thing that most Japanese viewers sort of feel. Like, most people overseas are just pirating, which, do you blame them when most responses and, replies to a post is people saying, oh, I'm glad I pirate. Oh yeah, suck that, Crunchyroll. I don't even sub anyways. I also kind of assumed that he was talking about people that just watch reactors or whatever. I don't know. It does seem like he did mean that, because a lot of the replies to this post are people saying, hey, we actually pay for subscriptions. There's, things like Hulu. We're watching on Hulu. We pay for that, so we have a right to criticize. The rest of the post, though, I think the people working on it are probably feeling pretty hurt. Everyone shares the same desire to not make something poorly. Yet, we still get blamed for every tiny detail. Where is our motivation supposed to go? Again, this is where I'm getting a sense here that he's probably posting this in reply to a lot of the hate that is coming towards a lot of the animators. And it really sucks too, because I think with how much things are ramping up so much, I wish that I could tell people to kind of, can we reset? Please, can we reset? Because when I'm seeing a lot of replies to this particular post, which doesn't seem mean, I mean, yes, he says the whole thing about, illegally watching is intense, and that the only people criticizing are people that are pirating it. I get that. That can upset people. I think that was probably worded wrong. I think the thing that really is coming from this post is a lot of people just kind of getting really upset about this, downplaying their work and what they've done with the project. I don't think that's really what he's doing here. It's that people are so ramped up with their hatred about this project, and people are trying to defend the animators, and then people are getting upset because people are defending it, and it keeps getting scaled up, that no matter what he says here, it's going to be taken as like, this guy's attacking us for criticizing the project. No, I think he's really just coming from a perspective of, I'm seeing my friends online posting their work and people are calling it garbage and you should die and this should be canceled and all this kind of crap. I've seen the replies of the recent one with Von Oba. When Von Oba posted his clips, look at the replies down here. There's some horrible replies before he finally shut this down. Yeah, you have some people that love it, but people are just like nasty about this. And it's probably one of the best cuts in One Punch Man Season 3. And even this is getting this guy some massive hate. He had a lot of passion for this. He was pretty excited about it. And I think people just lashed out at him horribly. And that's what, again, I think that Takashi is seeing. I'll say this clearly in the coming weeks. Something we poured our souls into will be broadcast. If people call it crap or slideshow, then that's just how it is. But we really push ourselves to the limit. Please think about the creators behind the visuals. We're not doing this as volunteers. This is everyone's job. The more you bully and harass the staff, the more they disappear without fail. That's the big key thing here that I really did want to talk about. I think, again, what I started out initially was the idea of informing rather than feeling the fire, informing the lighter, as the idea of understanding what is actually being said here and what is the actual impact. Yes, there's a massive amount of moving parts when it comes to how the animation itself comes to be, what the process itself is before the finished product comes. As I've stated several times before, I think a lot of the problems with One Punch Man Season 3 is expectations, and the expectations I'm talking about is specifically the producers. Who actually pays for the product, and what did they expect? Let's bring the old chart back up. Every single time, let's bring the old chart back up. What these individuals expected. That is what you're getting with One Punch Man Season 3. These individuals right here sat down on a board and said when they want a show done, when their expected time is, how much budget they want to give it, and how much time will come from that budget. We want you to do this project within this time span, and this is how much money you're going to get. And then j.c.staff took that and is trying to do as much as possible with that time. And that's the unfortunate thing. Every single one of these individuals working on the project will do their part. Specifically with Von Oba, they had this really good cut, and they made the Genga for it, and they sent that off, and this came out. And he even admitted himself, at some point, which I think it got deleted, so unfortunately I don't have the post for it, he said, I'll see if I can get permission to share my Genga. Unfortunately, the art direction and composition didn't really do my cuts justice. Still, I'm proud of my cuts. Just wanted to put it out there. Also, my bad for hyping up the episode too much. I was excited to see my work for the first time myself. He didn't even know it was going to come from it. This is a prime example of what these individuals see. What, Takashi sees. These individuals, when they get the project and they're, ordered in for the job, they're going to make those in-betweens, and it's like rough sketches or whatever. Like, you're looking at something like this. These little rough sketches. They're going to do those little rough sketches. They're going to do the in-betweens. They're going to send it off, and then you'll have somebody do the coloring, and they'll have somebody do some After Effects and everything. It's all in the project itself and everything itself coming together. And each one of these individuals isn't at fault. So yes, it kind of pisses me off, and it pisses off Takashi when you have somebody like Von here who is excited about the project. He made his Gengas, he sent them off, and this is the finished product that came back out. He didn't know it was going to look like this. He tried his hardest, and it didn't come together in the end. But he gets blamed for it. This animator is getting blamed for this. Now, here's an example of what I'm talking about here. This is the finished product, what he made. People said this is garbage. You know what's something else that he worked on? Soul Leveling. This is his work right here with Soul Leveling. This is the difference in budget and time given to something. Same person worked really hard to make all these little in-betweens right here, But when you have so much more time and so much more budget, this is the end result. This is what we're dealing with here. Individuals doing their part, doing their job, getting paid for their cuts, but a difference in what available resources the group itself has in the end. j.c.staff doesn't have that. A1 Pictures with Aniplex money and Solo Leveling, they get plenty of money and time and budget. j.c.staff for this particular project, no. So I understand sort of what Takashi is saying here. I understand that frustration where we're trying our hardest, we're doing what we can, we're doing our job, and we're just getting nothing but anger from people. And yes, it kind of sucks because a lot of these people do get in the industry because they love what they do. They love animation. They love anime. They want to be a part of something they've always looked up to. But the sad reality of it anymore is a lot of these people are just walking away from it. And I don't blame a lot of them, especially like right now with this whole situation. I don't blame a lot of these animators from just like walking away from it all, because in the end of the day, despite the fact they're trying so hard, like that last animator with One Punch Man, this guy's like really excited for the project. He was even hyping it up, you know, had expectations for what was going to come out of it. It didn't come together, and it got him a bunch of hate. And I'm surprised this guy didn't shut down his account. He's still on here. I'm actually very surprised he didn't shut down his account. He had to shut down this particular thread, but I'm surprised he didn't get just completely chased out, just like the director did. At the same time, I do think he kind of shoots himself in the foot here, which is sort of a lost in translation, claiming that, yes, we're not volunteers, this is our job, and yes, people technically pay to watch One Punch Man, and the end result is not a good product. But that just comes down to what I've said before, several times before, is the idea that yelling at the animators and even the directors, it's like yelling at the factory workers at a factory that makes Oreos for the company. Why would you be upset at them for changing the color of the cream to green when that was a decision that was made by the actual, owners of the brand itself, not the factory workers? They just make the end product that they said to make. You don't go yelling at the factory workers. You yell at the company. You yell at the brand. But he does make a good point here. The idea that you continue to harass these people, they're going to disappear. It's just become such a thankless job that a lot of these individuals are just getting out of the industry. They're just quitting. They're walking away. And I do think a lot of them are just choosing to just stay away from social media. Just stay away from it. Don't even broadcast what you're doing. I give these people massive credits for even being like social about what they're working on. That takes a lot of guts. I wouldn't be able to do it right now. But this is sort of the sad state of things. And again, I don't think him coming out here and saying anything is really going to change anything. I'm glad that he's on Blue Sky because he's not going to get as much hate, but I do see where he's coming from. I think where he's coming from is seeing his coworkers, people that he works alongside, just getting booed and harassed off of platforms. He talks about later on, which again kind of implies the idea that he's actually doing, he's actually working on One Punch Man. He says later on, all I can say is that I did my very best. Whether you think Hashimoto cut corners or he is no good, that's for the viewers to judge, but I did everything I could at the desk. After this, all that's left is to pass on the baton to the next person, so I won't know how it turned out until I see the completed film. Again, that implies the idea that, again, they make these cuts, they make these Gengas, they send them off. What they do with it after that, you don't know. Again, there's so many moving parts in this whole project. Anyways, just want to get on here and give people my perspective on Takashi's little post here that's going to stir up some heat and drama. I honestly think that people need to kind of chill out with a lot of the response to a lot of this stuff. I don't think he is trying to gaslight people. I don't think he's trying to attack you for criticizing. He's just seeing his friends being harassed off platforms, and he's just going, I mean, can we just chill? Again, it goes back to the whole thing I keep saying. I kind of feel like we need to bring it down. We need to bring it down because it all started with the whole situation with people having expectations for One Punch Man. It comes out and everybody says it's garbage. And then people saying, I don't think it's that bad. And they're going, stop saying that it's good. You're keeping them from criticism. And then some people saying, hey, guys, it's not the studio's fault. Yes, it's the studio's fault. No, it's banned on Namco. Okay, let's go get banned on Namco. Oh, wait, don't get the ban on it. It just keeps stewing up. And the flame is so high that you can have somebody like this guy come out here and say, hey, can we stop attacking the animators? I mean, they're just doing their job. You're gaslighting us. Stop telling us to not be angry. You're just excusing them for poor work. It's like, can we have just like a calm, normal conversation anymore? I think things have been so heated up to the point now where you can't even talk about this anymore. That's just like me making this video right now. I know I'm going to get like a million freaking dislikes because people want you to be angry. People want you to hate one side or the other. They don't want discussion. They want hatred. A lot of people just want to know who to hate this week. We're all just looking to find out who we can hate for the week. But anyway, that's my take on this whole post. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you found it informative. That's the main key thing here. I want to inform people, let them know how this whole process works, the whole process of the layouts themselves, the Gengas, the finished product, the composition. All this stuff is like so many moving parts to make something come together. And there's a lot of places where it just doesn't come together when you don't have much time, especially when they censor stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, become a member of the channel. Until next time.